guys, thank you so much for joining Weeks to Better Health. I'm really excited to be doing this. I actually started doing little 15-minute chats last March. I had a goal of doing it for a whole year. So if you get on my YouTube, you'll see 40 or so recordings of little espresso chats, like little coffee breaks. And as I was looking into the new year, because it's going to, take January and February to round out my goal, I wanted to end on a high note. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to do a concerted course, and it's going to cover all the things I think are foundational to good health. And so here we are with our second of eight weeks to better health. And I'm Sherry Sanjoli, if you don't know that. So why am I doing this? Why am I sitting in the your salon? Hold on, let me just see if I can help Nancy. There we go. Taking time out of my day to help you tell you what all the fuss is about. Well, these are some of my whys. I've always been outdoorsy and adventurous. This first picture is from a sailboat race down to Cabo. Our new puppy, my lovely husband, and our 4 kids and grandkid. And I already felt fairly healthy when I found doTERRA in 2018. But I'm curious, I'm open-minded, so grateful for those 2 traits. And so I decided to give it a go. And that combined with getting into yoga back in 2012 and getting sober back in 1988, I have just little by little leveled up my health. And I know at 59, I am much healthier than I would have been if I hadn't have found these different things. And I'm just the kind of person where I don't keep things to myself. If I'm onto a good TV show or restaurant or product or lifestyle hack, I want you to know about it too. I love to share the journey and share the joy. So I do have nodes in my vocal cords. I'm not sick. I feel like I always have to explain that post-COVID. But I really do have better health. I have more clarity and less brain fog. And I just know that I'm on a better course. So here I am wanting to help you. So today we're talking about a topic that I think is near and dear to a lot of people, and it's how to sleep better. Sleep is so important to our foundational health, and I'm so excited to use this as one of our topics. I don't have a lot of the products on hand because I am one of the lucky people who does sleep fairly well, and so does my husband. However, I do have the oil. So from left to right, we have the Sleep Serenity Stick. Every week I pick one product so that if you do want to follow along experientially, you can get one of the products off the screen. I don't want to flood you with products, and you can give it a go. And if you're gonna try to lean into sleeping better, this is definitely the product that I think is the most effective out of the 3. And we're going to tell you about that in future slides, so I won't tell you about it now. The second thing are soft gels with our same Serenity blend. And again, I'm going to tell you how to use it later, but it's really great. Anytime we have a good product, we layer it up. You'll see that with On Guard, Deep Blue, Serenity, Copaiba. Anytime we're onto something, we want to give you lots of ways of introducing it to your body. And so you'll see that that's the case here. Now I do have the oil because I love oils. You can see here all my oils on my oil rack. It's a great way to address health and wellness, both physically and mentally. So I do have this Serenity oil. It's a beautiful blend with all kinds of lovely things in it, which again is another slide. But this trio is dynamic. I thought about the people I know who do struggle with sleep and what they do. And so I added these other oils on the right side of your screen. The first one is adaptive. We covered it last week with our stress class. If you're having a hard time getting to sleep because you're stressed, then adaptive on its own is not going to put you to sleep or relax you enough to get a good night's sleep. As we know from last week's class, it gives you sustained focus while easing your body and mind. But if you're having a hard time falling asleep because you're stressed, you need to address that too. So you would blend the harmony of adaptive and Serenity so that you can not stress out. And then the Serenity is going to help you get to sleep. The next one is Deep Blue. The Deep Blue, I think most people, if they know doTERRA, that might be one of the top 3 products you know about. It's our go-to. It's a great pain relief. It comes in a lotion, a stick, again, lots of different ways, a capsule. So if you're taking Tylenol or ibuprofen, please switch out to Deep Blue. And then the deep blue oil. So if you're laying in bed and you're having a hard time falling asleep because you're achy, then you'd want to pair these up, the deep blue with the Serenity. And one of my favorite oils is the Copaiba. And yes, you do say Copaiba and not Copaiba. We met people at convention from Brazil where these amazing trees grow 100 feet tall. And how they figured out this would be a great oil is they noticed that the trees themselves and all the foliage around didn't have any diseases. It's an amazing oil for combating any kind of seasonal threats, boosting your immune system, helping your body with cellular rejuvenation. And the fun fact about Copaiba is it's an amplifier. So we've paired it in our deep blue stick because it's an amplifier. It's also a great oil to pair with your deep blue oil or your adaptive oil or even your Serenity oil. If you whatever you put it with, it's going to amplify. Isn't that so cool? Um, Lastly, Breathe and I are never breaking up. I'm committed to Duck and I'm committed to Breathe. I diffuse Breathe next to our bed every single night. I have chronic asthma, and that, along with other tips that I've done along the way, have kept my visits to ER like every 5 years instead of every 6 to 12 months. It's a game changer. And if you're having a hard time with your respiratory health, then you definitely want to add Breathe into your nighttime mix. Okay, love that slide. So Serenity, what's all the fuss? Here, first of all, what you're going to do is you're going to put the stick on the bottom of your feet at night, and it's going to treat insomnia, anxiety, depression, PMS, and headaches. What's in it? It has lavender, cedarwood, valerian. Oh my gosh, I have such a hard time reading words. Root, coriander seed, lang lang. I love saying that. Marjoram, Roman chamomile, sandalwood, vetiver, and vanilla. And it's really, really a powerful product. I love it that you put it on your feet. Your feet are a great gateway to all kinds of loveliness into your body, and it's just and it has a great aroma. So it's a win-win. doTERRA tests all of their products with 54 rounds of tests. 11 of them are done with a third party, and we publish those results publicly. So you can rest assured that any product that you're using from doTERRA is not going to have any pesticides, is not going to be purposely adulterated with any kind of carrier oils, and it's not going to have the classic swap out. It's not going to have like geranium instead of rose for a lower price point. So you know you're getting what you're getting. A quick fact about that is we actually tested our lavender on a control group of 100 humans over a 5 year period. And at the end of the 5 years, we were able to deem our lavender pharmaceutical grade because not only does it have the same aroma, but it has the same therapeutic effects. And how do we do that with all the variables of weather and disease that can run through crops? Is we harvest our lavender from 4 different regions all over the world. And our chemists back in Utah figure out how to adjust the ratio based on these different variables that we can't control. All right, last thing about this slide, melatonin. I know a lot of people take melatonin, no judgment. We live in a Western medicine world. But if you are, I really highly encourage you to just take a break, grab some Serenity, see how it does for you. Melatonin can really interact poorly with some prescription medications. It can affect your REM sleep. And the good thing about the valerian root that's in the Serenity stick is it enhances your sleep. You're going to get to sleep faster. You're going to stay asleep longer. And if you do wake up and use Serenity again, you're going to be able to get back to sleep again. But the biggest thing is you're not going to become dependent on it. And all of our products, because they're plant-based and natural, they're made up of hundreds and thousands of compounds. So one of the facts that I love the most about this is you're not going to become tolerant. So like my Breathe, I've been using it since 2018. I benefit just as much now as I did because it's not one dimensional like Western medicine. So many things. And lastly, you're not going to have the side effects such as that you get with melatonin, such as headaches, drowsiness, dizziness, or an upset stomach, just to name a few. So I'm very passionate about this. We always try natural first. I'm not against Western medicine. It's great if you're dying. It's great if you like need the second round of defense. We do take antibiotics when we need to. Like we have a good blend. In fact, we have our natural path as one of our speakers later in this course. And this is where I got this theory is she does this beautiful job of blending both Eastern and Western. But, give the plants a chance. All right. So why do we do all this? Well, it's nice to get a good night's sleep. It's going to help your brain function, your mood, learning and memory. It actually also regulates your hormones and strengthens your immune system. Don't you know when you're like so busy and you're not getting enough sleep, it's 9 times out of 10, you're also going to end up catching a cold or getting run down because your body's not running on all four cylinders. It reduces the risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease and diabetes. And while you're sleeping, your body repairs itself. So important to give your body a break. And I know the few times I don't sleep well, it really gives me compassion to this topic because my day's shot, even though I'm trying not to tell myself my day's shot. And I'm trying to tell myself, I feel great. I feel fine. Like I feel like this all the time. I don't. I'm like, I can't wait for that next night so I can catch up. So, I had so much fun finding pictures for this slide. This was on a family honeymoon in Egypt. I was passed out, man. So obviously, like sleep does happen sometimes. And this is our little granddaughter, and she was pretty passed out after a day at the beach. But just kind of a fun side note, really has nothing to do with the slide. So nighttime routine. This is my tip for the week. Is make sure that you have some kind of a routine in the evening. Be mindful of your sugar intake, caffeinated drinks, lots of stimulation. Um, and you have a better chance of getting a good night's sleep if you try not to go from like 60 to zero. So it's really a great way to signal our body that, sleep is headed our way. And we do it for our kids when they're little. We have bath time, we read them stories, we do all those things to prepare them for sleep. And it's really important to remember that we do that for us too. And so I am so excited to announce our guest speaker for this week. I met Alana, I think back in like 2020. You can correct me. You would know because it was your
Yeah,
wife.
I think 2020 is right. Yeah, in the YTT training.
Yeah, so she took yoga teacher training from our beloved Karina, who so many of you know I adore and speak highly of. And I was asked to go and share to the group about what the course had done for me because I had taken it a year or two before. And I could just see the light in her eyes. She had questions about how to succeed in this industry. She had questions about how to be the best yoga teacher she knew to be. Makes me emotional when I think back to that moment. And that Doug and I, it's the one class that come hell or high water, we are not going to miss. We are in her Thursday 9 a.m. class every week. Nancy, if you ever want to come down and take it all in, it's a spiritual experience. She brings us together. It's community, it's meditation, it's yoga, it's a whole ride. And
Mhm.
it's just been so wonderful to watch her transition from her past corporate life into this world of healing and wellness, and has leveled up on her education, worked so hard to get, but you can explain all that. But I know you took a big gnarly test. That's what I know. But
Yes.
but I just love and adore you, and I'm so grateful that you agreed to be one of our guest speakers. So take it away, Alana.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, Sherry, and everyone for having me today. I'm so honored and I'm so grateful. And like Sherry said, my name is Alana. I am a board certified health coach. I'm a yoga teacher and a meditation coach. I founded my business, Moon Glow Wellness, now back in May of 2021. So that brings us almost 4 years ago. And this is a business that I created really based on the moon and her cycle, so the lunar cycle that we kind of ebb and flow through each month, which of course links us to our direct connection back to our natural way of being and being in sync with the seasons and what it means to have that translate into a more holistic and healthy lifestyle. And like Sherry also mentioned, it was interesting because I started very much so in the corporate world. I was in tech sales up in San Francisco. So working a 7 to 7, as I like to call it, it was definitely on a 9 to 5. It was pretty much 12 hours a day. And it's funny and kind of full circle to be lecturing on sleep because for most of my 20s, I was a terrible sleeper and I still kind of continue to work on improving my sleep. But I will say I've made leaps and bounds ever since I learned the importance of a good night's rest and how important it is to get that sleep. And so I'm really excited to kind of share some of my tips with you guys today and things that really worked for me. And I always preface, definitely know it's not a one size fits all approach. So these are all kind of tips that may work for you. It doesn't mean you have to do the entire list of tips and tricks. It doesn't mean that you have to do anything perfectly. But if you can take one thing that interests you away from our chat today, that would be a great first step. So, I'm going to go ahead and just start off by really emphasizing how important 7 to 9 hours of sleep is an evening. And what sleep does for us is it helps our body have the chance to heal. The second we close our eyes and our body's able to rest, right? It's almost like this cleaning crew that is activated in the evening that is able to go into our cells, go into all our bodily systems, and really make sure things are detoxing correctly, things are working promptly, there's repairs being made. So if we're cutting their time short, we're cutting our healing short. And so with my clients in my coaching business, I almost always start with a foundation of sleep before we talk about adding on anything else, right? Because it doesn't matter how much you're working out, how healthy you're eating, all those other things, if you're getting 4 to 2 hours of sleep a night, right? So it really is kind of coming into how is this foundation looking like? What is your relationship to rest and to sleep? So that really kind of goes into my first tip, and that is something I have always held on to, and I love this tip. Your morning routine starts the night before. I think we so often jump into, okay, let's have this beautiful looking morning routine. Let's focus on the day ahead. But it really actually begins the night before. And that actually emphasizes Sherry's point of having a wind down routine. Like she said, instead of going from 60 to zero, it's important to start slowly signaling your body as slow as the sun sets, right? Okay, it's time to start getting ready for that rest. It's time to start getting excited and prepared for that rest. So, in my opinion, again, my first tip is before you focus on a morning routine, really kind of hone in on that nighttime routine and that wind down. And I think a way to do this, which goes into my second tip, is making your bedroom in particular a resting, peaceful sanctuary. This can look like different things to most of us. For example, I switched out my lamp lights to red lights. So it kind of, again, simulates that sun setting out in nature when our circadian rhythm is able to start being again, let's signal the melatonin, the natural melatonin production, the natural bodily systems to get us restful and ready for sleep. Also love doTERRA oils to put those in a diffuser, put them at the bottom of my feet, even maybe put some on your sheets, on your pillowcase is one of my favorite things to do on the bottom of my pillowcase. Just because again, when you go in there, your body will start getting used to knowing and being familiar with the fact that, oh, when I come into this room, it is time to sleep. So on the same note of making your bedroom a sanctuary is also eliminating things or not doing things in your bedroom that don't have to do with sleeping. So watching TV. I know this is hard for a lot of us, but if you have a television in your bedroom, I always prompt or just offer trying to either move it out of the room or if you are going to be watching something, having that be before in the living room. And then knowing again, when I'm tired, I'll go to bed to rest. Changing out again those white or fluorescent lights for red lights is really helpful, or at least one of those lights be a red light. Get sheets and pillows that are really comfortable and that you care about. Lighting a good candle, or like I said, it's perfect to have a doTERRA diffuser nearby. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure doTERRA now has candles. Sherry, I know you can probably confirm that. I'm getting like a general yes.
Yes.
Perfect. I love it. So, very important to again just take your sleeping room, your sleeping situation, your physical environment very seriously and make sure it's just a place to rest. I've even had some of my clients have success with reading in the living room or in a different room of the house and knowing when they start getting sleepy or tired, that's when they go to bed. They only lie in bed when they're shutting their eyes to go to sleep. One more thing I'll say is leaving your phone across the room or in another room entirely if you can. And that goes into my third tip for this, and that is limiting screen time and access or exposure to blue light before bedtime. Blue light is doing the absolute opposite of our body's natural cycle as the sun sets and as we put on again those red lights or dim the lights throughout the house. It's going to serve as the sunrise and combat those natural systems and that kind of encouragement to wake back up. So when we sit in front of a TV or on a phone, if you have a pair of blue light glasses, those tend to work for some people. But I would just say if you can just either have 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. is when my phone goes off. I start charging in the other room. I don't look at it until the next day. I know that's a hard concept to grasp these days. So again, taking what works for you, but if you can limit the screen time at least an hour before you go to bed as part of your wind down, you will very much so experience night and day, no pun intended, differences in your body's ability to really get ready for rest and to sleep. So, with all of that said, I know Sherry has so many awesome recommendations for us in terms of doTERRA's products. I also personally love Serenity. It's been in my diffuser for quite some time too, and Sherry's been kind enough to provide that to me, which I just love, and I love putting at the bottom of my feet. But I would just say, pick one of these things that you resonate with and just, again, start by implementing one of them. You don't have to shift everything you're doing, but maybe what is important, what is interesting to you after this call and this session today, and challenge yourself for the next week or the remainder of January to really just make some moves and improvements on that area of your wind down routine. So again, you can really create that solid foundation as you continue to focus on the pyramid and everything as you build up and onward for your health. So thank you guys for listening. I don't want to go over my time, and as Sherry and Doug both know, I can chat quite a bit and be long-winded. But again, my name is Alana. If you are interested, you can follow me at my business at Moonglow. My Instagram is the best. I know you maybe have heard from my friend Lauren, who was on last week, so I won't be too repetitive, but her and I actually have some offerings coming up this year. So if you are interested in either any workshops or our retreat in Kauai, we will be kind of focusing again on not only integrating these habits and these practices, but really bringing our body into a state of rest and a regulated nervous system. So I will go ahead and pass it back off to Sherry. Thank you again so much, my love. I'm so honored to be here. And of course, if anyone has any questions, they are always free to reach out to me and I'm happy to help them.
Oh, you're so welcome. Nancy, did you have a quick question? I see your arm out, but I don't know if it's up or just out. Oh, wait, hold on. You're on mute. I don't know how to
Oh,
oh, there we go.
no, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
You're
You're so
welcome.
welcome.
Alana, thank you so much for sharing. And do you want to
You're
shout out the
welcome.
dates to your Kauai retreat while we have a minute?
Yeah, absolutely. So our Kauai retreat will be from May 4th to the 9th. And you can again either reach out to Lauren or I, or you can head to Lauren's website, which is wovenvessels.com. And there's a retreat tab there that you can find more information. But thank you, Sherry, for allowing the space for that.
Of course, of course. And if you're ever down at Riffs in Bird Rock, which is a suburb of La Jolla, on Thursdays, I think she also teaches at 7:30, but I'm never there. 9 o'clock. It's just, it really is. Like I will not book anything on Thursday mornings so that I can make sure to get to your class. So
You're the best. You're the
oh,
best. I love you. Thank you.
I love you. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom.
You're so welcome.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna wrap this baby up. Let's see here. So yes, our second habit. So I have taken a course similar to this a few years ago, and they give us so many ideas. And Alana has already kind of touched base on this. That at the end of the course, I was flooded. Like I felt like I couldn't do any of it because I was trying to do all of it. And so I thought about that, and I thought about creating this course, and I decided that it was important to me that we keep it simple, but that we keep kind of adding to it. Like what was that game where you sit in a circle and you're like, I'm going to grandma's and I'm going to pack my toothbrush. And then the next person says toothbrush and, pajamas, and the next person. And at the end, you have to say the long list. So I was trying to do something like that for this because I want to make it sustainable for people. And I want to give people a chance to actually make some changes. So we're going to deep dive into our second habit. And then the next slide is going to kind of condense it. And we're going to look at habits 1 and 2. And then next week will be 3 and so on. So again, a lot of the stuff that you've already touched base on, but you should have a similar sequence every night. And it doesn't have to be in this order, but try to back out when you want to go to sleep. For some people, it might be 9 p.m. For some people, it might be 2 a.m. It doesn't really matter when your bedtime is. It's that you 2 to 4 hours before try to kind of work towards that, right? And so for us, we're kind of early. We go to bed around 10. So around we try to have dinner around, 6ish. And then start unwinding our night. Go ahead and get into your loungewear. Tell you that's another way to tell your body, look, I'm done. I don't have to be like up and about. Silence your notifications. I'm terrible about this. Ask Doug. I was like texting tenants last night, like o'clock at night. But this is a goal, right? This is a goal. No judgment for anybody, including me. Take in a TV show or a book. I love the idea of reading because it is better not to have screen time. Again, another thing that we could maybe someday level up. We do try to watch like a gnarly show and then a light show. Like we've been ending in Survivor lately because my daughter tried out for Survivor. So we want to like learn what all the fuss is about or like relearn it. And so we've been doing that. But yes, eventually at some point you do need to turn off your screens, try to give yourself some space from all of that. If you're wanting to lean into the Serenity system, you're going to take the soft gel 30 minutes before bed. So as you're kind of wandering down the hall, heading towards your bedroom, take that first, along with what other supplements, maybe some medication that you take, and then lean into like, brushing your teeth, washing your face, doing whatever it is that you do before bed, maybe a little bit of meditation or reading something. And then you can turn on your bedside diffuser with the Serenity oil, which is, just 5 to 8 drops in any diffuser is the rule of thumb. And then rub that stick on the bottoms of your feet, especially your big toe is directly correlated to your brain. And I forgot to add in here making some kind of a lavender or Serenity bed spray, a linen spray. Such a great tip, Alana. I love that. And what I do every morning, I didn't add this, but I'd be remiss if I didn't say it now, is every morning, like I diffuse breathe because I need that for my asthma. I fill up my diffuser, I put in my drops, I stage it so that at night I'm not having to do a bunch of mechanical stuff and a lot of thinking and a lot of moving. I just lean over and I turn on my diffuser and I'm good to go. So again, it doesn't have to be in this order, but I think it's important that you give yourself time to head to a good night's sleep. So stacking our weeks, I'm so excited about this part of the course. It's going to be so fun at 8. It's going to be like boom, 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 boom. So last week we talked about reducing stress. So you would have your adaptive roller bottle, which I think I have here somewhere. Oh, look at that. I got it. So you have your adaptive roller bottle and you can roll that on, do some box breathing. You can look at the YouTube from last week to learn about that and just sit for a moment when you're feeling stressed. But even just rolling on the adaptive would be like a quick little go-to. I carry it in my purse. And also just that breathing. I said last week, if you're stressed out, you can even just go to the bathroom wherever you are and just sit down and just just take some time for yourself in a space where you can be on your own. And then from this week, get a good night's sleep. Be sure to back up 2 to 4 hours. And then as you slip into bed, be sure to add your Serenity. So thank you so much for joining again this week. And again, Alana, thank you so much for being our speaker. We're doing this every Wednesday, all through January, all through February. I'm determined to get my voice back. Maybe next week I'll have it. We went to the Belly Up last weekend and I was like, not yelling so hard. It was so hard. But yeah, we're doing this every Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We've already done the stress lessons, sleep better. But next week we're talking about pain, which I think everybody has it to some degree. And I saw a great tip on Instagram from one of our founders, Emily Wright. She's a runner, and she was talking about how she adds deep blue to like the backs of her knees and her feet before she starts running, just to kind of make sure they're like loosened up. And so many great tips. And then lastly, let's connect. So here's my phone number for texting. My email is sherry@livewellnaturally.us. And that is my handle for my website. Facebook and Instagram is livewellnaturally.us. And then I have a YouTube channel. My kids were like, do you even watch YouTube? And I'm like, I'm going to start. So I have a YouTube channel. I'm super excited to try to keep with it. It's Live Well Naturally 123. And if you'd like to like and subscribe, I'd be over the moon. And there's like 40 chats in there. So how fun is that? And so, yeah, I think that's it. I'm right down to like 10 seconds from 30 minutes. So we did good with our time commitment. And again, I just want to thank Alana for her time of sharing her wisdom, Nancy and Doug for showing up and participating. And I'm going to stop the recording. And then if anyone has any questions, that way they can ask in their own time and space. But thank you so much.